live. Here we go. Anybody out there? Yeah, no, I didn't give good notice or anything, but thought that we would pick this up kind of impromptu. We had a lot of jets. Well, we've had a lot of strange phenomena happening. Last night we saw, well, for a few nights we've been seeing strange lights that are in and around this air base on the West Coast. And they look like some kind of, whatever, they're not regular, normal aircraft. They look like some kind of UFOs. They have a formation, but they do weird stuff that, I don't know, they fly really slow, then they pick up speed really fast. They seem to signal to one another with the blinking of their lights, which change color. Yeah, it's strange. I'm going to put up the videos that I took. And then all day today, there's been jets taking off. And I presume landing. But there's been a lot of jet activity in the air, a lot of jets, fighter jets flying out of the Air Force Base, like probably a squadron or more. It's just been like all day jets flying out. So I don't know what's going on. It could be just a training run or something like that, I guess, but it's not normal. So you never really know what's going on. Could be something, they've been having a lot of interactions in the air along the United States borders, international boundaries, around Alaska and, even north of Alaska. But certainly around Alaska and northern Washington and state and, down along the West Coast, there's been some interaction between Chinese and Russian aircraft that have been flying in tandem, in some kind of, I guess, show of what, not a show of force, but a show of unity, I guess, where they're saying, okay, it's going to be Russia, China, and North Korea versus the U.S. or something of that nature. I don't know what that's going to do to our domestic politics, like, this upcoming election, but I suppose it could be used as a kind of a means of ramping up some kind of political influence or pressure one way or the other. I don't know exactly how all that works, but I can imagine that if you had a lot of newscasts saying that there's a lot of conflicts between the United States and China, and that China, Russia, and North Korea may be the primary adversaries in the next world war against the United States or whatever. Yeah, I mean, you could drum up some kind of a fear, right? And what candidate is going to be better able to deal with these actors, these countries. So, it's generally could be used one way or another. I mean, but that's kind of going out on a limb. I think that, I really think that, I think Mr. Trump lost the momentum that he had going for him. He had a great momentum going for him, and he lost it because of his more, well, his extreme positions, his attitude, his, just the things that he's saying. And now it's becoming clear about what he actually wants to do. And, this is an amazing, I don't know why people are not catching a hold of how absolutely amazing these times are that we're living in right now. It's off the chain. It really, truly is. It's amazing. We're living in some of the most interesting and historical times possible. These events, it's just beginning. The fireworks, the events that are going to occur here in a fairly short period of time are, incredible. I think just incredible. And, our entire way of life, our entire government, the system, is being challenged. It's being challenged a couple different ways. And you could say that, both the, the extreme liberals and the extreme conservatives are on the outside edges. But somewhere in the middle of all that, it comes together where, you have both sides pushing for somewhat of a different kind of a system. So really the only way I think that this big puzzle can be solved is to recreate or regenerate or rewrite the U.S. Constitution. That's harder. Put together a platform, a digital platform. Everybody gets a PIN number or whatever, some kind of secure site, you sign in, and you can immediately, there's a directory and you can put your proposals, your issues, things that are important to you. There'll be surveys and questions that you can take, all kinds of different ways of bringing issues to light, and then being able to judge or to see how important they are. I think, and then to be able to debate them, to be able to put them under real scrutiny, and then to go to the next step and actually write something, a clause or a phrase or a sentence or a paragraph or section that incorporates that very premise, and everything geared to protecting basic human rights, I think, is what we're after. I think we want the majority to rule. Just, if you have 100 people that vote on something, a simple majority is 51. And if you divide it that closely, then it ought to be up to a simple majority, because it's like flipping a coin, right? It's either going to land on heads or tails. And it's that close. So, 51 is good. Maybe on some things, there might has to be like a super majority. But I don't think you can go with super majorities in a true democracy. I don't think you can go with supermajorities because, I mean, you can do anything you want by prior agreement, but I don't think, myself, I don't think it would work out well because, again, you'd have people lining up for and against on various notions or various types of information, and maybe everybody wouldn't be able to get the same information. So, people that actually had a meritorious issue might get, deprived of a certain percentage of the vote. And if it's not a majority, a simple majority, then, they would never be able to carry the day. So you get right back into politics with a lot of this stuff. Yeah, I've got a lot of ideas for the design of a new and improved U.S. Constitution. In fact, I wrote a bunch of manuscripts some years ago about all of this, and I'm just now going through them and rewriting and editing and putting this stuff together. But that's what we see anyway in the future, is that we, the people, must regenerate. We must reform our government, our system of self-governance. And, if it's, the question is, what kind of a government are we going to have? What kind are we subject to? And some of that is pretty scary if you think about, a more authoritarianism type of government, a theocracy, even a dictatorship of some type, or, even a monarchy. I mean, it's all the same. I mean, are we going to head in that direction? Is that what we're going to do? Are we going to have a replay of the mid 20th century in Europe, more particularly in Germany? I mean, is that the kind of history that's going to repeat itself here? These are, I think, fair questions to raise and to have. So we are living in very, very critical times, I think, and it's important to, just to know where you stand and to know right now what's on the line. And there's a lot, I think, on the line. But anyway, don't want to go way over in that neck of the woods either, or that far afield. I see that my time is running up here, and I'm going to jump off, but appreciate you tuning in, and I will talk to you again soon. I'm Jack Powers.